it's Laura Brazil of Mind Over Muscle, and here's your movement tip. I want to give you a couple reasons today why your low back may be bothering you when you're walking. And when I say a couple, I mean three. We're going to give three reasons. So the first one could be, a lot of people don't think about their upper body when they're walking, but if you're walking and your rib cage is lifted, if you watch my low back here, I often teach about a neutral rib cage. So if your rib cage is lifted up, you might notice how my low back is now holding this tension pattern here. So this would be a neutral rib cage, and this would be a neutral rib cage, and this would be a lifted rib cage. So a lot of us end up walking like this because we're told chest out and forward is good posture, but in our case here, we want that. You can put your hand on your rib cage and draw the rib cage back into your body. So notice if your hands are pushing forward, or your rib cage is pushing forward into your hands, and then just bring your rib cage down until it's no longer pushing forward into your hands, and that'll take a little bit of a load off your back. So reason number two is that you might be really stiff through the side of your body. So when you're walking, this part of your body, your waist, should be moving to minimize the loads to the spine. So if you're really stiff, instead of the waist moving around and taking some of that load, you might actually start rotating. So not only are you moving forward, but you're rotating as you're going, and the spine shouldn't have to do that when you're walking. So we have a lifted rib cage, we have a potentially rotating upper body instead of a flexing waist and upper body. And another big reason that I see, and this is all three of these are very common with people, and a lot of people have all three of them, myself included. This third one's really big, is we don't have extension in the hips. So what is extension in the hips? This is flexion, right? So I think most people can understand, like, knee toward the chest is flexion, and then as I'm moving the knee away from the chest, I'm in extension. But most people's extension doesn't even come into neutral because we're so tight and we sit a lot. So our leg bone doesn't actually go behind our pelvis. So instead of moving at the hip, what we do, so if you watch my low back again, because I don't have this range of motion, I do this. All right, so I'm not moving at my hip very much. I'm using my low back a lot. So the combination of the ribs up, putting that extra strain on the low back, and this motion, plus potentially rotating and twisting, this puts the low back muscles in a position that makes them really, really tight, and over time, lots of tension equals weakness and pain. So hopefully, maybe you can identify one of these three things in yourself, or maybe all of them. It's hard to identify sometimes when we're walking. So if you want to know if your low back is bothering you and you want to know a little bit more, feel free to send me a message and let me know, and we can see if I can help you out to kind of pull apart those pieces and make sure that you're feeling great and your low back feels great when you go out walking.